Well, that was bonkers, but I actually quite liked it. I mean, it was like deliberately bad.
Did you? You think it was bad?
But I sort of liked it because it was. I mean, I don't know what I just watched, but I did. I mean, it reminded me a bit of Madness, but actually like properly mad.
Yeah,
like just that they've gone like one step beyond, like they've gone one louder. No, I quite like that actually. That was great. You know what? I would say, Nigel Thomas, you failed. You failed in your mission to find songs that I hate. In general, here, if you would done better, just play me like Rihanna or something like that. Or who's
no? But the idea is to play great songs that you'll hate. So.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
I mean, there's the odd great. Rihanna is a whole other topic, but yeah.
Well, like, just what's who's that guy who always sings his name? Jason Perula or something?
So a lot of them do.
Yeah, that sort of like.
Shakira.
I mean, she was all right, but
Nigel Thomas is in the house.
There you go. Nigel and Louie on the music. No, this is the new jingle. Music Natters podcast. No, that's my impression.
I really have to turn all this down.
Oh, well, the volume. Yeah, the volume's all over the place. Yeah. But wasn't it in the last tune? You know what I mean? Like they didn't care about volumes or but I quite enjoyed the madness.
Yeah, well, it sounds mad, but it's they're really clever musicians, and it's all.
Really? Oh, come on, really?
Yes, well, yes, yeah. All the different time signatures and styles they've incorporated in just one song.
Okay.
That lyrics referencing ancient poetry. It's really, on first listen, yes. It sounds mad, but
watch if dear listener, if you're not watching you would have had to watch on YouTube. Yeah. Like that was a bonkers. That was worth watching.
Yeah,
that was a bonkers video. Bonkers. I quite like him.
Some people think I'm bonkers.
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of Graham actually. Not that I know much.
He's
about
alright.
him.
Yeah, that was good. Reminds me of Death Disco.
So. Are we drawing to the end of this podcast?
Yes, I think that was it. Yeah, finish on that one.
We're going to finish on the one that people possibly can't hear. Well, that's very hateful of you.
No, that's what the podcast is all about, Louie. That's what the podcast is all about.
Being deliberately annoying.
And I'm sure from Louie's reaction, you'll nip off and listen to it. And it's a band that deserves more listens, I think. And it does. You need to listen to it like 3 or 4 times before you start getting it.
What were they called?
The Cardiacs.
Okay.
They were very influential on a lot of bands.
What?
Like Blur.
Really?
Yeah. Very influential.
At first, when I saw what they looked like, I was like, that same guy did that, I can't go back to Savory now.
John Shuttleworth. No, it wasn't him.
They look like him.
Sometimes I need to listen to that song a couple of times a month. It's just it becomes addictive in a weird way. I have to go back to it. And there's another one that I'll play you maybe later on tonight. That is just, it becomes really addictive because the little hooks that you can't hear in the first couple of times you hear it, then they just drill into your brain.
You're actually looking quite excited.
Yeah,
about
I
this.
am. I really am. Listen to it again. Listen to it a few more times, and the madness. It all comes together. You know, like one of those. We've talked about this before. Those Magic Eye picture books. It all looks mad, yeah. But then you just have to. You lose focus. You stare at it, and it all kind of comes together, and you can hear.
I mean, that's how I like to think how my stand-up comedy. Is like I did a stand-up comedy gig in virtual reality last night.
Oh yes,
it's complete bonkers. But I like.
Did you have to be in virtual reality to?
I did. I could show you a clip. Yeah. And the crazy thing is like the microphone has no gravity.
Are you virtually funny?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I sent you. Did I send you the link? Oh no, is that just an obvious pun? Right. Well, yeah. No, that's bonkers because you. I was telling jokes, but then
can you hear the audience?
It's supposed to be British people, but then. There's people from all around the world. So there's like people in America. And I'm talking about the Sunday Times. They're like, "What's there?"
I'm sure. Because people in America can't work out what the Sunday Times is.
To talk about the Forbes
is that like
magazine.
The New York Times? But just on a Sunday? You've been quite disparaging to America.
Well, it's not a good look right now, is it? 6-year-olds going in and shooting their teachers. No, it isn't. Like insurrections. It's not a good look.
No, something will have to be done eventually. But I mean, about the NRA.
Yeah. Lose some of our prime listeners.
I mean, I think it's fine to them to. This is a whole other podcast now. Guns, guns. This is not guns, but like at least be licensed and have to have checks. It seems like it's such a because. you have to have that, like, for certain things, like, you have to be a certain age to buy knives, and I don't know, there should...
I agree. But this isn't a politics podcast. This is a break.
Certain checks should be done, and then have your guns. I don't care. Have your guns.
I mean, I sort of feel the same about musical instruments. You know, let's have.
You should have
some people before they let loose on a keyboard should have.
But how would they practice in that case? See, yeah.
I suppose
they have to practice in virtual reality before allowed a real. Before you're allowed a real violin, you have to practice on an electric one that's only plugged in.
A virtual.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to draw to close. Should we finish with a tune? Just because I feel like it might be disappointing. Anyone who can't be asked on.
Go on then, we'll finish on one more. Let's do one more song.
Well,
one more song and a quick talk.
You were saying do we just finish on a song? Why not just finish on a song? We'll say goodbye, finish on a song.
And then people don't have to listen to it. But then they won't hear your reaction to it. That's the whole point.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you want to say what you think about it before you've heard it.
I mean, is there a tune? Earlier there was a tune that I thought I wanted to play you.
Let's not do that. Let's not bring the podcast down. Come on, we got to try and keep standards to a certain level. Eric.
I wanted to play the Nizloppy one, and then this reminds me of Madness. What? Let me.
Sometimes, Lou, you have to leave people wanting more. That's the thing. You don't want to. You're over gorging on things, Louis.
I tell you what, we could finish. Oh no, I was going to say, what's that song that's just silence? It's a famous one.
Oh yeah, that track.
We could finish on that.
Yeah, we could. I mean, yeah, we always do in a way.
just a bit of tumbleweed. You know what we should do at the end of our podcast?
Say
we
goodbye.
should, yes, and we should plug things that we're doing.
Okay.
Like, do you have any,
plug our PayPal?
Do you have any gigs coming up that people could come and watch you at?
No.
Oh, okay. You do have some heavy machinery adverts that people would watch. It depends when this goes out. By the time you edit and everything, any gigs I were plugging would be over. But louiechristie.com/comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll catch me in virtual reality again. Or I am playing Last at the Library on the 3rd of May, but that'll probably be over by the time this.
We might sub it out.
I'll be emceeing and comparing that night. So if you want to see a night of complete chaos in a library, come down to Upper Norwood Library,
hey.
Crystal Palace, the bright lights, and don't shush. We will be making noise.
All great nights start at Upper Norwood Library. That's for sure.
The bright lights. Underground. It's underground, mate. Underground.
Nice.
Right, well, we can edit this.
We'll edit this.
The
end of this podcast will be heavily edited.
We're not good at endings, are we? Okay, well, I ruined it by having loads of.
Thanks for coming, Louie. I think you hated it more. I think you hated the songs more than you let on.
Okay.
I don't think you'll be listening to them ever again.
I might listen back to this podcast once, but I don't think. I mean, the last one, the crying ones, actually listened back a few times, and they grew on me.
Well, I'm going to make a note, and we'll in a couple of we'll check. I think you need to listen to that last song, the Cardiacs one, 4 or 5 times, and then we'll see if it clears up on you, if you get it and like it.
Okay.
Become a Cardiacs fan. Buy a T-shirt.
There is that thing they say music is about your brain likes it because you're learning music, and so you have that. Repetitive bits, but then it's more varied and but so this is maybe this is for people who are smart or something and or really into music, and so it's really hard to your brain to
this is why you're struggling.
So maybe we'll listen to the Cardiacs again.
Okay, nice. And we might listen to that other song later. Thanks, dear listener. If you enjoyed it, why not I don't know, listen to more podcasts.
We've got a back catalogue. And send us a message on musicnatters.com.
Okay, Louie.
Yeah.
See you in the next podcast.
Bye. Music Natters Podcast. 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 Night.